Hey guys, now in today's video, I'm going to share with you the importance of having great audio when it comes to communicating your message. Now keep in mind that you could be using Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. There's a lot of different methods that you can communicate video, and audio is an important part of it. But it's not just about those mediums, it's also about WebEx, it's about Teams, it's about Zoom. Having great audio is going to help get your message across because it has to be clear. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Boya. Boya just launched this brand new mic that is packed with features, and one of the things that I really love about it is that it has both onboard memory to record your recording so that you have a backup, but then it also has noise reduction technology. And let's face it, we're working in our home environment that is not a studio. It's imperfect. So having something that's going to step up your audio so that you can basically make sure that you have the best audio capable is important. Now, the other thing that you'll notice is that I have two mics on. We're going to be comparing it throughout this entire recording to the DJI MIC, which is one of the leading solutions on the market, but it's at a very different price point, right? So let's go ahead and check out the audio quality. Let's check out how the specs line up, and then we'll see if this is going to be your next mic. Let's get right to it. Now, as I mentioned, this mic solution does have 8 gigabytes of onboard memory. And if you're wondering, what does that translate into recordable time? That is 15 hours of recording. That is spectacular. And given the fact that these basically have 2 mics in them, if you're using one at a time, you're basically going to get a total of 30 hours, right? Now, if you're doing a joint podcast or you're doing a joint, let's say Zoom call or any kind of media creation and there's 2 individuals, obviously it's going to be 15 hours each. But if it's only you, you could go from one mic to the other and have, again, massive time. Now, also the cool thing about these is that you're going to be able to get 12 hours of usage. And if you were to think about the case is going to give you 25. So you're looking at really far exceeding your recording capacity with battery life. So it's going to give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to your actual recording. Now, one of the great solutions about this mic is that in addition to having that fantastic battery life, it also has a lot of ways that you can connect. You basically have USB-C, you have lightning connection. You also have the standard 3.5 TRS and TRSS type connection so that you can connect this to a smartphone or if you want to connect this to a DSLR. The kit also includes a lavalier mic, and that is also giving you a lot more flexibility. So if you don't really want to see a mic like this on camera, you can actually have just a small mic that would allow you to conceal the actual mic itself. Now, if you notice the distance, typically it's advised to have a mic at least a fist away from your mouth, and that's what we have here. Now, it has noise reduction technology, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. So now noise reduction is on. And we're going to do a noise reduction test with noise as well. But I just wanted to give you a sense of how the audio changes. And as you will know, throughout this entire video, we're switching audio sources, right? We're going from the DJI to this specific mic, the BOYAMIC, so you can hear what the differences are. Now, in addition to this noise reduction, you also have wind reduction by the use of these little I would say cats, right, that they call them, that you'll be able to connect to this. So it's going to keep the noise from wind from affecting your recording. And then it also has a mesh, standard mesh that's embedded into each one of these mics that also help combat noise. So basically you have the noise reduction, which is going to be the push of the button. You have the wind reduction, and then you have the standard reduction that comes just by the design. Now, you have multiple recording options. You can record mono, stereo, and it also has a safety track. And the frequency range is also great, as well as a sampling bit rate, as you can see here. The signal noise reduction, also the signal noise reduction ratio is also going to be up there as it competes with other products. Now, from a real-time perspective, you can actually monitor the actual recordings in real time via an external playback solution. So all the monitoring that you'd want. So basically what this means is that if you're doing a recording, you don't have to wait until after the recording to know that you have to make adjustments to your audio. You can check the audio quality real time as it's being recorded and make the adjustments that you need as you go along. And once again, this is going to give you a great solution when it comes to recording. So let's take a closer look at what's included in the pack. Now, included in the box, you're going to receive a little travel pouch that's kind of like very soft to the touch, and it has all the accessories inside of it. Matter of fact, it has one that I hadn't pulled out right here that I'm going to pull out. And this is for the lavalier mic. You get 2 of these guys right here for your lavalier mic. And then what you'll see is, and we'll pull the mics out so you can get a peek of these. These are really nice because I find that typically what you would get sometimes is a really large mic, but notice how small this is, right? This is like an eraser size, like for a pencil eraser. Look how small that is. So you get 2 of these. You then also get these clips that you can use to clip them to a suit, to a shirt, however you'd like to do these. And then what you have is, again, this is going to be for your wind protection. You have a USB-A to USB-C connector, right? You then also have your audio cable that you're going to be able to use. You know, this is going to be for connecting it for your DSLR. And then over here you have a charging cable. Now, all these accessories, we'll go ahead and put them inside of the bag because we also have a charging case. And the charging case is typically where you're going to store everything or stow everything. So go ahead and put everything in here. Let's just throw it to the side. Now, this is what the case, and I'm going to bring in the DJI case. And here I have it side by side. I'm going to remove, I have a kind of like a silicone sleeve on mine just to give you a sense. It's slightly larger, clearly, all right? Okay. But has, again, great value. So as we take a look at these, as soon as you open it up, you're going to see inside of here, you'll find you have your adapters. So these are your adapters. So if you want to connect this to a smartphone, right, your Apple, or if you have the new one, just use your USB-C. It also, this is something that you would be able to connect to your PC as well if you'd like. What sometimes I do is when I'm using these and connecting them to a PC, I'll have a USB-C cable that supports audio transfer, and I'll have like a male to female extender. That way I can connect this to it and not have it like really close to the actual PC itself or Mac. Now here you have your receiver, and you notice you have your other, again, transmitter here. I'm going to close this up. We'll take a look at that one in a second. Here, really nice display, easy to navigate and manage. And again, you have your cold shoe mount right here that you'll be able to mount it with, USB-C here. And then also, this is where you would connect if you want to be able to monitor the actual recordings that are taking place. And this is where you get that real-time monitoring taking place. You can see how things are coming across. If it's just you, you can monitor yourself. If you're actually recording someone, you can monitor the talent. So that's something that's really, really nice. And then over here, we'll take this guy out just so you can see. And then over here, you can see the size. The control does come, or the transmitter comes with a magnet. And I actually have mine are connected with a magnet. So you can actually basically, ooh, these are hard. You can see. Here's the magnet, and watch how powerful this is. That is a powerful magnet. And it is a fight to remove. So that's great. So you can connect this to a shirt, to a suit. And the cool thing about it, since it's because it's a magnet, it's not clipping onto anything, which makes it a little bit more discreet, and it doesn't mess up with the clothes. You do have here your record button, and then you have your button that you would use for your noise canceling, which we currently have on right now. You have USB-C, right, going on the side here. So great functionality and options here. And then everything gets stowed nicely into this case. So all you got to do is put it here. And the cool thing is, as soon as you put it in this case, it auto pairs, right? So as soon as you close it, it stows. And one of the things I love doing, and I'm sure there's going to be accessories, I always get something that I use for my carry case just to protect it. But again, you do have this right here that you can use as well to protect it. You may not be carrying all those accessories with you. Now, before doing our noise canceling test, I wanted to also highlight a couple other things about the actual mic. First of all, you can see right here, this is that mesh I was talking about that's going to give you that superior passive noise canceling that's taking place. In addition to that, you do have this toggle here, which allows you to switch between line and mic as well. So depending on how you're using these, you'll be able to switch back and forth. So that's something that's really, really nice. Now we're going to come back, and I'm going to add some noise to the environment so that you can get a sense of how well it's eliminating noise. So we're going to simulate a lot of things. First of all, we're going to simulate just noisy environment, and then we're going to go into household noises. That's going to give you a sense of how well these would do if you're dealing with life, right? Because let's face it, life brings noises. This brings dogs barking, interruptions, things like that. How well are these going to do, especially if you want to use these, let's say, for example, for a podcast in your home, or you're just recording someone, real estate, all of these different situations. So let's go ahead and start up the actual noise generator. And right now, this is around 70 to, I would say, almost 80 decibels of noise. So what I'm going to do now, as you're hearing this, we're using the mics, and we're not using the mics with any kind of noise canceling at all. We're just hearing them as they sound right now in this environment. What I'm going to do is, for this guy right here, I'm going to turn on the noise canceling. So now the noise reduction is on, and we're going to continue to go through this review. So one of the things I really like about these also is the size. They're very discreet. And as we compare them to the DJIs, and I go ahead and bring them on as we're going through this noisy environment test, you'll notice that the size, they're very comparable in size. Take a look at this right here. So here is the DJI on this side. Here's the BOYAMIC here. And you can see that the size, ooh, and they're magnetic too. So you can see that the size is very similar. And we'll go ahead and put them this way. You can see that. Very similar in size. So you're going to be able to have something that's ultra discreet. And by the way, you're checking out this part of the recording with noise reduction on, operating in a 70 to 80 decibel noisy environment. That's pretty cool. Now, as we mentioned, there's a lot of different noises that you may run into as you're doing a recording. For example, this is what an infant would sound like when crying and you're using the noise reduction technology. This is what they would sound like with an infant crying. But we know that it's not just about infants, it could be dogs. So if you had a dog barking in the background, what would it sound like if you had a dog barking and you had the noise reduction on? Well, that's something that we're checking out right now as well. And then the last one, we always have that doorbell ring and you're recording. How well does it do eliminating that sound? Now, the cool thing about these as well is that they have fantastic range. But the things that all mics are challenged with is obstacles. So if you have walls, if you have things that are blocking, then you're going to run into some limitations, or not some limitations, a reduction in the range itself. My recording for practical purposes is I'm not 200 meters away from my source. I don't do that. And I don't know many creators that do. But you see a lot of tests that do that where they're like really far away because they just want to test how far it could go. Practical usage, typically my camera is no more than 5 to 10 feet away from me, even closer. And you can see with my camera just being arm's length, because literally if I just go a little bit closer, I can touch my screen and that's my recording source. You're getting a sense of what this audio sounds like. So overall, these have a fantastic value for everything they deliver. And also they have a lot of options when it comes to that lavalier mic that you don't see with products in a package like this.